Hello, this is Caroline. I'm a Flothemes partner from France, and this tutorial is going to be about how to build your about page and how to create a strong message on this page. So we're going to see together the different steps I would recommend in terms of design and in terms of message. So let's get started together. Hi guys, so we're here on Mono, the new Flex theme that was just launched by Flothemes. And the same way I have already did the tutorial on how to create a strong homepage, we will have a look at different ways of creating your about page. So if you haven't seen the homepage tutorial, you will find it here within the same videos, and it's available in both French and English. So let's talk about page. And first, I want to mention that, in French, we have different ways of naming this about page. In English, it's more about or information, or I would strongly advise you to build a relationship with your client or your visitor and choose to name this page with your first name. So for example, my about page is called Caroline. I think it gives more, it creates a relationship and it makes a link with the person who is visiting your work, and they want to know more about you as a person and as a photographer. So the about page, we have two designs suggested for us here on Mono. And let's see, I'm probably gonna stick with this, apply template, and let's get going with building the page. Right, so before I even get into one of the blocks, I just want to take a minute to have a look at the different blocks here that comes with this suggested layout. And there are quite a few blocks here, which is great. So it gives us many options. I might not want to keep them all. I just want to create a strategy in terms of message before I get into them. And I'm thinking, okay, so I'm happy to start with a full image and a big title. I'm very happy with that. I like that right away after this, we have an intro to who I am, and we need to have this portrait of you. This is a must on your about page. We cannot do without it. And we will talk also about the choice of which picture to choose and which picture, not to choose. This maybe I might not keep it. Maybe I have already an idea of, I don't have a team, it's only just me, but I'm happy to show a bit more about who I am because this is my about page, but the about page has a purpose. I am not one of those people who will say that I won't tell you about my grandfather's story with photography. I won't tell you about my passions. I won't tell you that I like pizza and I don't like migraine. This is, for me, it doesn't work. The message that I'm sticking to on my about page is very straightforward. I want people to hire me because I have some added value within me that can serve them. The about page is about what I can do for you as a mother, as a photographer, as a coach, as a web designer, what I can do for the client who wants to trust me with either their family photography or either with their web design. So I'm not getting into very personal and non-essential details. I might just right away get rid of this one. I think for me it would be pointless to have two blocks with images. I will keep this and maybe this again, which I will also include a testimonial block here, which we can't see here in this suggested layout. That's not a problem. We will import one of the flex blocks I have already for the testimonial. So now we can get started. Hey guys, so we are on the second block of the About page design that I have selected. And so I'm not going to go into details for all the blocks, but I specifically wanted to talk about this portrait block. It is not an option today to not have at least one portrait of you on your About page. And I want to talk a little bit more about the choice that you're going to make in terms of which portrait of you are going to choose. This right there has to go with the whole identity of your website and of your work. It needs to inspire people to trust you and to want to build a relationship with you. So I downloaded here in my medias a few photos, portraits and self-portraits that I could choose if I wanted to. Also, a little reminder here on your About page, this is the page where you can pick personal photos or personal portrait, personal projects. So I have a lot of those because I do a lot of personal projects, but I, for example, wouldn't choose something like this, which is a self-portrait with a lot of flowers, because it's a little bit more too artistic. And I don't think I want the client to expect this is what they would get into their family session, for example. I love this, but my eyes are closed and I don't think it doesn't convey the image that I want to. This would be something a bit more classic, the self-portrait into a mirror. Again, I love this, but this is my face is hidden. So here is a portrait that I have used a lot. This was shot by my friend Sylvain, who is a portrait photographer. It's great because I think it's very much like me. It's very natural, yet there is a little bit of a smile. I'm looking right at the camera, which I think is, really building a relationship with somebody who is discovering my work. This is a great one too from my friend Zoe Wittering. Another one here, but for now I will probably stick with this one. This was shot by my friend Charlene Photography last year in Morocco, and I very much love everything about it. The mood, I love the smile, I love the energy, I love the fact that it's still very simple. I love the play with light and shadows. And in terms of colors, it does matches my color palette also, because it needs to, when it's not shot by you, obviously the post-treatment sometimes or the editing might not match with your own color website colors, sorry. So, but this would work for me, and I have had a lot of positive feedback about this portrait. So if you do not have a portrait of yourself and do not feel comfortable with self-portraits, really, you should offer yourself a beautiful photo session, either alone or with your family, and ask the photographer to have a few portraits of you alone. But this is a must for this page. So here we are on this About page that I have created for this tutorial using Mono. And we start right here with this full screen image and a big title, Capturing Memories since 2015. And down here, lifestyle photographer and web designer. So right there, you know what I am about and since for how long I have been doing it. I think this is reassuring for the client who are in 2020 now, so they know that I've been in business for a few years now. And I have chosen this image because it's an image from my personal project and they inspire a lot of my work for my clients. So for me, it's very important to show this. Okay, second block is the portrait block. I am Caroline, so this is the text in French with a little bit of presentation about where I am located, and what I do and what I believe in, and a few keywords: photographer, storyteller, authenticity, spontaneous, sorry guys, and natural life. Meet my tribe. They are my inspiration. So I am a mother, and obviously that does influence a lot of my work, especially since I am specialized in family photography and lifestyle photography. So I want to say, to the clients that they are my inspiration, and what they inspire me as a mother, they will also inspire me as a photographer. And I do not believe that we have to be perfect to be photographed. I believe that, there is beauty in life and real life. Here is an invitation to discover more about my personal work and my journal, and a little text with what I think real life is about, sparkly eyes and a lot of things. And so if you do relate as a parent or as a client to this, you might want to contact me. And this is a testimonial block, which I find is amazing to have this one big picture. I really love this design. And that's it, the footer down there. So this is the key message for the About page. You show about yourself, but with what you can do for the people that will be hiring you. And this is what I'm talking about here. If you do believe in all this, then you and I are a match. I wanted to do a quick wrap up for this tutorial on the About page. So you need to remember these key points to build your About page. You need to talk about who you are and how what you do can serve your client. Do not focus on non-essential information. You have to place again who you are, what you do, and where you are located. I would strongly advise you to think about the portfolio you want to use to build this page, and do not be afraid to use. This is the page where you can use your personal family photos and your personal project. You do not need to share a lot of information, private information. This is not what the client is looking for. The client is looking for somebody that he can trust. And this is the page where you can build this relation. You need to link this to either your portfolio or your blog or your contact page. You can have a few call to action. And last but not least, do not forget to include testimonials on your About page, especially if you have some about, some clients that especially focused on your personality for this testimonial. I think this is the right place to put it. So have fun, be creative about your blogs, and have a very, very strong About page. Bye-bye.